Look, this all stemmed from you guys all claim you're traditional. Like y'all know, you aren't traditional.
And I said
you're not traditional. You're not traditional.
There.
You're not traditional. No offense.
No offense taken.
But do you? Okay, so you asserted you're traditional. I disagree with you. So are you?
Living underscore donated $100. Brian, you used to seem a lot happier than you do these days. Is all of this really worth it? This line of work would make any of us cynical. Not judging.
Truth be told, actually, the conversations that actually occur at the table pale in comparison to like all the bullshit behind the scenes. Like dealing with fucking flakes and all that shit. That's the stressor right there. Is bro, we're dealing with like cancellations, flakes, all that shit. That for me anyways. These conversations, look, sometimes it's a bit annoying. The shit behind the scenes, that's the stressor.
Yeah, we're not taking the conversations personally. See, I do have a chatter here, though, who did pull the clip from the previous episode and says, a quote, she did say that she slept with men and did not tell them, and that she also uses dating apps and doesn't tell the men she's an escort in the dating apps.
Well, when I use the dating apps, I don't even go on dates with these guys. Like, I've literally been on one date with a guy, and I disclosed to him that I was an escort and we didn't even sleep together. So, and since then I've deleted all the dating apps and I'm not on any dating apps.
I mean,
and I've been focused, and the last podcast that I've been on was, I think it was in October timeframe.
But
so since then I've been exclusively.
I'm looking in the past. So maybe since then you've changed shit up, but. Oh, this fucking girl over here. Hold on. Oh my God, this fucking girl. Okay. So I said you're not traditional. You said you're traditional. Are you changing your position that you're not traditional, or?
No.
So you still consider yourself traditional?
Oh yeah.
Even though that like your Instagram is totally immodest and you do porn, and there's probably, I've not done a deep dive on your Twitter, but I would imagine there's pornographic videos of you on Twitter, correct?
Yeah.
You've engaged in sex work. These are not really traditional things. So how do you reconcile that?
That's, that's kind of like a thing with your own inner battle, right? So and it's all about, like, you have your persona, you have what you present to the world, and then you have your core. My core beliefs, my core on the inside is different, and that's okay.
So you hold two conflicting sets of ethics?
No.
Your persona.
Oh, well, then I'm so confused.
So I've made peace.
Either your inner core is that prostitution's okay or it's not okay, and I would say that by any retrospect, anybody who would consider themselves traditional and uses traditional ethics would say prostitution was immoral, right?
Okay, and that's your value, but that doesn't mean that I can't have my own set of traditional values and apply them in my own everyday life. I may not be the traditional person or the ideal traditional woman, and that's okay, but that doesn't mean that I can't have my own traditional values in my everyday own personal life.
God.
What are your own traditional values that you have in your own life?
That's like saying a movie actor is like
what
being yes, it is though. You already know what I'm gonna say. It is
comparing a movie actor,
that's like she's like
and having a script and
she's gonna be all the actors and all that. Like, no, all the characters and stuff like that.
That is vastly different than engaging in pornography and saying that your inner being is different than the persona that you put
because
out
it
there.
is, because when you're a stripper it's an alter ego, like.
But that is still you
pick a different name and it runs different.
That is still affecting your brain. That is still affecting your relationships.
But you gotta know that it's work and how to separate the two, because that's work.
To get this right, the internal you is an ethical, traditional trad woman, but the you which is presented to the world is a prostitute.
I'm
and
not a
you
prostitute.
see that there's no conflict between the two of these whatsoever, because the internalized your set of internal ethics is that this is bad, but your external ethics are that you're going to do it anyway because you want fucking money. Is that right?
I am not a prostitute. I do not do
I
prostitution.
didn't say you. I was talking to the gal who was
Okay,
just
then
speaking.
great.
I'm sorry.
If okay, I'll say this. So it's like you guys want your cake and to eat it too.
Oh, and it's delicious.
On one hand, you want to push your liberal, feminist, progressive, equality values as far as humanly possible. Sex work is fine. Men are insecure for not wanting to date a woman who's getting blasted inside of by
did
other
not
men.
say
Hold
he
on.
was insecure.
No modesty, no public-facing modesty at all. You want to sleep with a bunch of men and be promiscuous. On the other hand, when it comes to your admittedly sexist and gendered expectations of men, you may as well be 1950s bachelorettes. You want men to be chivalrous, you want them to be providers, you want them to be protectors, leaders, take all the initiative, pay for dates, get you flowers, open the car door, get down on one knee, spend 5 figures on a ring and propose to you.
I don't
and
even
that's
wanna
just
get married.
absurd.
I don't want to get married, and you know that.
Okay, do you want a guy to be a leader in the relationship?
I don't want a relationship right now. Back to square one of what I've been saying.
You never want to date a guy ever.
I'm not saying ever, but right now,
Okay,
within
then
the
that's-
next 1 to 2 years, no, I don't.
Okay, so you're temporarily celibate. Well, no, I shouldn't say that. You are temporarily refraining from sex.
Engaging in relationships other than work.
This is a dating podcast, bro. We're talking
I
about
know.
dating. Yeah. So how about this? Instead of just like shutting down the conversation by saying, well, nothing applies to me because I'm currently allegedly not dating. Why don't
I
you just
do engage a
project
lot.
Johnny
yourself
Wet
into
Wet
the future?
donated $100.
God.
Shout out to my boy at Thrax's Milky, first time viewing this show. On another note, y'all are far from traditional.
Traditional. Thank you. That's a new one. Zabi Wet. It's just like men are waking up, realizing how much of a raw deal this is. And it's just like, you got these non-traditional women that demand, that expect, that feel entitled to traditional treatment from men. And it's fucking bogus.
But I
Just admit-
found it.
just
I have
admit,
found it
like,
with someone in
I
my
wouldn't even
industry.
give you-
I have that, so it is possible.
No.
And I even invited him on this podcast, and you guys said you're not casting men, and you didn't care to have his perspective.
So
Like,
would you stop doing porn to continue dating him
Absolutely.
entirely?
Absolutely.
Why not?
Oh,
do you
Brian,
mean, why
Brian,
not?
is this
I
like
said
Why not right
absolutely
now?
I will.
traditionalist?
Why wouldn't you guys stop?
What's that?
Is this like Schrodinger's traditionalist now? Is that
guess
where
so.
we've gone? Schrodinger's
Look,
traditionalist?
I'm not fighting to prove my stance that I am a traditional woman. I have my own set of traditional values. I have found success in a relationship with someone who provides traditional dynamics
Yeah.
in our relationship, and I am happy. They are understanding because they are also in the industry, and I found that. And
He's not
we-
traditional either,
So,
though.
but then why wouldn't? So he's still doing scenes.
No, we both quit.
You both okay? So you've stopped entirely from doing porn.
Yep.
To
We
pursue
both
a
have.
relationship
Yep.
together. See, that's beautiful, and I think that should be how it is. And I'm. That was going to be my next question: is did you stop
Yeah.
to be in a relationship? How long have y'all been together?
It is about 2 months that we've made that commitment to and we committed to monogamy. We both acknowledge how that would impact our careers. I have stopped accepting pro porn scenes because I am putting this relationship above that. And that's my personal choice because ultimately at the end of the day, I do have traditional values and anyone in porn or in the sex work life can change and find a man of value.
Are you guys
Period,
doing
sis.
OnlyFans together? Are you doing any scenes with you and your partner?
We are completely monogamous, no
Off
longer
screen.
sharing or doing anything. We've tried, so we had our initial, we were together, we both acknowledged we were in the industry, and then we were like, hey, I don't want you cream pieing other women. And he
Understandable.
was like, okay, sure, I get it. And I said, you know what? I don't want you deep thrusting inside of another woman while making out. That's a no for me. And we started putting all these little things and restrictions. And we're like, you know what? No, this isn't going to work. That's still not enough. That still makes me feel a certain kind of way.
Just be monogamous
So-
together.
Exactly. And so then we were like, oh, maybe we'll share women together because I'm bisexual. So then we tried that. And then I was like, you know what? No, I just don't want you getting pleasure from another woman. I want to be the only reason you come.
Yeah, these are just preferences. There's nothing about them that are
I'm so
traditional
glad
at all.
I'm not dating donated $100. Brian/Andrew. Take a vacation. 90 acres in the mountains. Nice campfire. Plenty of guns to play with and a romp in the skid steer will do your mind good. No infected out here in the woods?
Talking about zombies? Yeah, thank you, man. Appreciate it. Look, I wouldn't even have so much of an issue with it if you just claimed, I'm a modern woman. I'm not traditional. I dress immodestly. I do sex work. I have OnlyFans. Just say you're you're a modern.
Was modern on the menu for my choice?
It was not on the choices.
If you're not
non-traditional,
if you're not traditional, what would the opposite of that be?
Okay.
The question I asked is, going around the table, are you traditional? So that could be a yes or it could be a no. But when you claim, yes, I'm a traditional woman, but like we can actually point to things in your demeanor, in your behavior. We can look at your public. We should pull up their Instagram.
Well, let's ask it a different way then. Are you a modern woman or a traditional woman?
I would say I'm modern. Yeah.
Okay.
Sure. Great.
Oh my God, bro. We just wasted fucking 50 minutes trying to explain this shit to them.
I have a question about traditionalism. So you say you have these traditional internal values, you're a modern woman, and you're now in a monogamous relationship. Mm-hmm. If your future daughter came up to you and said, hey mom, I want to go into the porn industry, what would your reaction be to that?
I would ask her why. What do you want from
money?
Okay, then I would say, what other avenues would you want to explore? What are the reasonings? Like I'm not going to say, no, don't do that. Mm-hmm. I'm going to ask and get an understanding, because if she's my daughter, then that won't be, like her only option. She will have options.
What was your reason for getting into the industry?
My reason for getting into the industry was I actually went to church 3 times a week. I worked my way up the corporate ladder. I was 5 years as a business development manager. I've done the traditional life. I've done all of that, and it did not serve me. And so during 2020...
So your traditional values are for sale?
What do you mean?
Well, I mean, you're saying
you expect
I was a
me to
traditional woman.
drown,
I did the whole
clinging on to my
thing.
values and drown.
Hang on. Let me finish.
Sure, please.
You're saying that you were a traditional woman, but the money just wasn't right. So you sold out on that for modernity, right? So you could get that good, cool cashioli, right?
Actually, it's not easy money, despite the public's
But it's
idea.
a lot more money, isn't it?
It's how much effort you put into it.
But it's a lot more money you're making than at your corporate job, huh?
Absolutely, because I'm working 10 times harder for myself.
So what it is that traditionalism for you is just a matter of price, isn't it?
No, it's not.
If it paid you
Because
more to
I
be
still have
traditional,
those
if it
values
paid you
inside
more,
of me.
hang on. If it paid you more to be a traditional woman, if you're going to make $1 million a year being a traditional woman, you'd take that buyout so fucking quick, it would give that guy wallet burn, wouldn't it?
I have traditional values, and that is that. That doesn't mean...
Yeah, as long as somebody can pay for them, right? Then you have traditional values. But the second it don't pay very well to be traditional.
Actually, no. I put in effort. I've been working since the day that I turned 14. My first job was on a farm. I have put in hard work, and I got to where I wanted to be. And then I said, you know what? I'm ready to elevate it. I was in an industry. I was in the business development industry for restaurants. And I looked at the top and I said, no, that's not what I want for myself. That is not the position that I want to have. So I'm like, if I'm going to make a transition, now is the time. And it was pandemic 2020. Where else can I find a cush salary job right now? So money. I actually traveled and I found beautiful autonomy and all of these people from all over. No, they weren't all sex workers.
Oh my God, who the hell cares?
I'm sorry, you've talked way too much tonight. I'm sorry.
Well, your guy keeps engaging me, and all of the women are.
Okay.
So.
Just last thing on this whole traditional thing, and then I'm going to shift gears here. So, it just seems like to me, many women have just completely abandoned and cast aside any and all of your traditional gender roles, yet with the utmost entitlement still expect men to adhere to their traditional gender roles. So that's always interesting to me. Just really quick here, since we've clarified a little bit, modern versus traditional, just going around the table once more, do you consider yourself a traditional woman?
Modern woman.
Traditional. Sorry.
Modern.
Wait, scoot your mic closer to you.
Modern.
Microphone straight. Go ahead.
Modern. More traditional.
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 Okay.